Hello and welcome to Idle Stand Nation. This is a podcast where we talk about some things that you might want to hear, and we will be definitely talking about a lot today.
Well, considering it's Fatal February for us, because we are dying. As you can see, Jihoon's not with us today, because he already be dead.
Yep. Hey, he's already dead, so he's already succumbed, and we will hopefully be able to revive him next week.
Right.
For now, you'll have to deal with us too. I am your host, Nick, and with me is Aura. And let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
All right. So, go ahead.
Oh, all right. we were like, all right, we're ready to go, but no. We are for the first artist. We have a boy group called DKB, and they'll come back with Sorry Mama.
Yep.
I honestly don't have much thoughts on it, to be honest. Like, It may be Fatal February, but I was on subpar with it, to be honest.
Yeah. I thought it was really good for. From what I understand, this is a debut.
Oh, is it?
So, yeah.
Okay.
And so I thought it was really good for a debut. I thought they did a great job with, like, making a song, because they don't really know their style yet, right?
Right.
And so I thought it was really good for that. When they were singing, they have a really strong vocal. I don't know who it is. I don't know the members or anything yet.
Yeah. But
they have a really, really strong vocal.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere.
And so I'd be really excited to hear something more vocal focused, but it seems like they're very heavy rap, kind of like Stray Kids, how they are.
Yeah, I did notice that. For me, it felt very much like I'd be listening to this song in a club or whatever. Especially with all the colors and whatnot, which kind of pushed it away from me. It very much felt like a club song to me.
Right.
Heavy on the like synths and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty heavy on the synths. It was also pretty heavy on the vocalization, right? So I mean, they synthesized the voices in some parts.
Right.
Probably in the chorus you heard it the most. Where they said "Mi Neoma." That's a pretty heavily synthesized voice, and it's used to reinforce the trap, like the trap breakdown that's going on right now. But I think whoever produced this song did it well.
Brave Entertainment?
No, I mean the actual producer of the song.
Oh, okay.
I think whoever produced this song did it well. They did it to the best of their ability, right? Because with this style of song, there's only so much you can do.
Right.
So I think they did it really well. I'd be really excited to see kind of what they come back with.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't dislike the group. This song has me interested and wanting to see the potential, but the song just wasn't for me.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they could definitely use more growth.
Yeah.
They definitely pulled off the style with the imagery, the clothing, the stylist really did an amazing job with the like clothing, the like makeup and whatnot. So no, I can see some people actually latching onto this group and becoming like really big fans. I don't think I'm one of them, but who knows? They'll come back, could change my mind.
It could. All right, so and cut here. Because I forgot to turn my light on because I'm a bum.
So, yeah. Just gonna keep on talking while Nick is adjusting everything.
Alright, cool. That's a lot better lighting now.
Yep. So for those that are watching us and we may or may not have cut. Nick has just turned on his light, so he looks different.
Yeah, that's my bad. Anyway, so with that, I think before we start repeating ourselves as we always do,
Oh yeah.
let's go ahead and move on since
Oh, this
since
next,
we have a big one to talk about here.
this
So this one came out February 3rd, has 15 million views.
15.
Everybody in the 15 million on their company's company's YouTube channel. Everyone take a guess. Got your guess? All right. This is GFRIEND Crossroads.
Oh, I love this song. I love this music video so much on so many levels.
This is not a music video. This is a movie.
And it was amazing.
Yeah. This was so cinematic. So, if you guys have not followed GFRIEND since before they moved to Big Hit, they were never about the cinematics.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very Big Hit thing to do, is be about the cinematics.
Right.
And wow.
Big Hit, definitely. Like, don't get me wrong, I love GFRIEND. I love GFRIEND. But this took it to another level.
This is very Big Hit in a nutshell. Big Hit is very known for cinematics. If you have watched BTS, like Fake Love, for example, it's all about cinematics with them. For a lot of music videos, and that I feel like that influence really showed through in GFRIEND here.
Right.
Because Source never was about that. They never to this scale either.
I mean, I don't think Source had the resources. God, that an unintentional pun. Unintentional pun. But I think this was really good cinematically. There was a lot of symbolism.
There was. Something that really caught my eye was when Unha fell off that cliff, right?
Right.
And that reminded me a lot of Jimin's Serendipity, because they had a similar scene.
Okay.
And I saw a couple people in the comments commenting about this as well. It's kind of like establishing a connection between the two groups, because they're still technically under separate subsidiaries,
right?
But kind of showing that they're together in a group, or together like as a family,
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's a little bit different, just because, like, I don't do the whole group family, like, group connection kind of thing. For me, it was very much reading into why it was there,
Right.
And honestly, it's like, for me, the way I saw it was probably different from a lot of other K-pop fans, with her, like, kind of being pushed back to a point where, she wanted to go back to another point in time, which also shows when she was falling, she ended up slowing down, and then there was a huge clock that, instead of going forward, it went backwards. And
right.
And
I think that also sets us up for the intro, right? Because this entire song is very old GFRIEND.
I feel like it was a mix of old and new.
Because think about Fever, right?
Right.
It was a completely different song than what GFRIEND is normally done.
Yeah.
And that, for a lot of people, that was them saying, "Hey, we're doing something new. Like, we can't keep doing our old style."
Yeah.
Which is about, like we've talked about before, it's about the right time to start doing that. Because GFRIEND is getting older. You can only do the cuteness and concept for so long before it becomes a little weird.
Right. I mean, it's not like they're abandoning their whole style, because I feel like even though they are going for a little bit more mature, they're not completely getting rid of the whole GFRIEND style.
Right. It's still very GFRIEND.
Yeah.
And they still retained a lot of things that are very, very GFRIEND. The acoustic instrument like style.
Right.
You know.
The unity of the vocals and
Definitely.
Like the amount I smiled every time I heard the vocals just unified.
I feel like this is a very middle ground between like old GFRIEND and that new style they were trying to go for with Fever.
Right. And
I feel like it's a safer play, almost.
Yes, because I think they are looking into the responses from their listeners. It's not like their newest style was bad, but it was very different, which kind of was off-putting to people who have listened to GFRIEND a lot and who weren't used to the newest style from GFRIEND. So I think they taking it a step back, not like 50 more steps forward, was a good call.
Right.
But yeah, like I'm still thinking of the entire story for GFRIEND. Oh my god! Like
there was a lot of content. Seriously, I'm gonna be really excited to see if they stay with this like sound where it's still very GFRIEND but also has new elements to it.
I'm excited to see more cinematic like this.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what Big Hit like has an influence over GFRIEND now.
Yeah. Like
so
I do want to see the responses to it. If heck we're gonna have to cut a part of that. But
or not.
Maybe, I don't know. But I want to see what the response to what everyone's saying, because we're definitely having a positive response to the whole cinematic. You even mentioned cinematic before I did, you know?
Yeah, and I'm not one for cinematic.
Yeah, and I was actually kind of curious. This was a colorblind friendly song, right?
Oh, extremely.
Yeah. Like
this was ideal almost.
And
I mean, there were some things that I didn't like to look at, but it's stuff that they really couldn't control. Like, you know, it's stuff that they really couldn't control, like street lights, or something like that.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, yeah, it was extremely colorblind friendly. I mean, there was a ton of blues, a ton of yellows. It's perfect.
It was a darker tone, for sure, for GFRIEND comparatively.
Yeah, and honestly, this darker tone really reminded me of Time for the Moon Night. Because like, if you look at like Rough or anything that GFRIEND has done before, it's always very lighter tones.
Right. It's
naturally
lighter,
it goes with the song.
This one was harder a little bit.
It was very Time for the Moon Night, and honestly, that's my favorite type of MV, like a darker tone MV. And so I'm really loving it.
For me, I love the whoever did the camera work. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like the balance of the entire music video. Like nothing was too much on one side versus the other. It was a very balanced music video. You weren't swaying from side to side too much. They weren't using the close-ups or like zoom ins and zoom outs like over dramatically. They used it at the right moments.
Right.
And it was, whenever they did do it, it was used to tell the story of, you know, how the girls were moving apart through a fight or something, and like them kind of desiring that past where they all got along. And I feel like beyond the like videography and whatnot, the story of this music video showed what a lot of us go through in many of our relationships.
True.
Like, doesn't matter if it's like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, friends, siblings. It's like we all go through fights with each other sooner or later, and there are times when we want to go back and go, you know, I'm sorry, I want to go back to a better time. And this was displayed so well. And if you've known GFRIEND for a while, you know, they've got such an amazing dynamic as a group.
Right.
Like, you see it in their choreography. Like, they're so in sync. And yeah, I'm just left speechless.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite songs from them. Like, this is because you know, combining the MV is just it really makes the song, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm super like we said before, I'm super excited to see what Big Hit kind of does with Source with this.
I do want to see what kind. I haven't seen any of the stage performances either. I want to see what the stage performance.
I have not either.
Like,
me too.
I believe that they're going to be absolutely.
GFRIEND is super well known for their choreography, so it will be really exciting to see.
So basically, we're just going to say we are dying more in the future.
Absolutely.
And you know, thank you for GFRIEND for being part of that.
Yeah. So with dying, all right. It's time to kill me.
Yeah. I mean, she probably the next artist we're talking about probably is the reason why Jihoon isn't here.
100%. So this is BiBi with their song Restless. It came out on February 2nd. It has 130,000 views.
It needs more.
As of 1K.
It needs more.
Yeah. So this song. Wow. This song was chill vibes.
Oh yeah.
All the way through.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a good music video. My only problem was that it wasn't instead of landscape.
It was portrait.
Yeah, I was like.
So, actually, I really love that because I have a portrait monitor right next to me.
Yeah, you have a portrait.
So
monitor.
I can full screen.
Yeah. You have a portrait.
So I can full screen that video.
You have a portrait monitor. You can full screen it with no problem. Like, I can't do that. All of my.
Yeah, you'd have to watch it on your phone.
Exactly. I mean, it honestly is really well made, so you can watch it on your phone just fine.
Yeah. I think that was the intended purpose, was for people to watch it on their phone.
Yeah. Because this song you can very much listen anywhere just fine.
Yeah. This is, like, speaking of the song, this is, like, seriously amazing. I was blown away with this song.
And your dog's in the back.
Of course, as always.
Of course, you know.
But yeah, I was blown away with the song. And BiBi, I should have really expected it because BiBi has never let me down. Since she came out with Binu, I've never been let down.
You've just been starstruck since Binu came out.
Especially because, I mean, who in the industry currently has her vocal style?
I don't know.
Nobody. There's nobody. But she just naturally has this chill when she's singing. She naturally has this just chill persona.
It
you know?
draws you in.
It really does. I will say, that the MV is super. I don't even know how to phrase this. It's super original for K-pop because you usually don't see artists putting themselves in that situation inside of an MV. You know what I mean? Showing a relationship. I don't know if she's actually in that relationship. Probably not. But
yeah.
But you know what I mean, right? Because usually artists avoid that because it starts scandals.
Right. I mean, so with that whole part, you know, I feel like it's in the beginning of this new era, you know, because you've seen Amber do that for her newer music videos where she's in certain relationships. for
But Amber's also not under a Korean company, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so she's not restricted as far as what she can do, right?
Right.
So, but this is, for example, it's going on 1K.
Yeah.
Like, they already knew that.
Mhm.
You know, it's meant for the Korean audience. And quite literally, it's very rare to find an idol who is willing to do all that, because it can start, you know. It can be really bad.
Yeah.
And so edit that out, boy. Gotcha. So but especially, like, you know, showing his face, showing them in intimate positions, right?
Right.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Inside of the Korean usual, like, things to do in a K-pop MV.
Well, for like idol culture, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is very unheard of, or not. I wouldn't say unheard of, but rare.
It is rare.
It is incredibly rare.
And that's just because it's playing it very unsafe. But I think the fact that they did it made the MV so much better.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few idols that are out there that have done it. I just can't name it off of the top of my head, just because it is so rare. It is so hard to think of.
Right. Yeah. Naturally.
But I think that having that guy in the song, it definitely does help, because it is Restless. It is. I'd say the music video was about desire and the feeling of wanting someone, you know. It is very much of a song that makes you feel like she wants to be with this guy, wanting to be with the relationship, because you can very much see it in all the minute details, like from her expression to how she positions herself, and even from how they're both dressed, it is very, very coordinated.
Yeah. They made it, you know, super casual. They made it just like the song. How you said the song is like a song you can listen to anywhere. The MV is like something you'd see anywhere.
Right, and it's relatable to anyone.
It is.
Like, we've all been there, where there's someone that we like, that we want to call, that you know, we'll be playing on our phone. Like, should I call him? Should I call her?
Right.
Do I do this? Do I do that? But, you know, if it's meant to be, you know, and things work out, as you can see at the end of the music video, they do start showing affections to each other. Because when they first start hugging, they only show her face, you know. They only show her side of things. But as the MV progresses, they dress up in the very, like, a couple hoodie. I don't know that. I don't understand that culture. And then it also turns to how he's showing affection when he's hugging her back. It very much shows a progression of that relationship in a 3 to 4 minute music video. And I mean, not gonna lie, it's not going to go right every time. I'm sorry for those who are super romantic and want everything to be perfect, peachy keen, happens in 3-minute music video, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, it doesn't always happen that well. But I definitely think that there was a lot of, you know, like, character progression, and that they really did this correctly, you know.
Like, this is very much, I want to say it's cinematically, I feel like I really like this almost as much as I like GFRIEND Crossroads. It very, very story driven.
But you weren't a fan of Binu, right? Or Nabi?
I wasn't a fan of Nabi. I like Binu. I honestly like this music video better than Binu.
Okay, yeah.
But I like Binu better than Nabi.
Stan BiBi then.
I haven't decided yet.
Alright, listen to this, everyone. He hears this. I like this MV the best. I can't stand. Alright. Alright.
There needs to be something else to make me stand. I haven't figured out the formula in my head yet, but I have not decided to stand yet. I mean, you and June.
I'm gonna fight you.
You know what? Wait till later.
So, speaking of later, let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna go ahead and move on to an MV that has 55 million views.
What?
Was posted February 3rd. 55 million views.
So that's where GFRIEND's views went. not joking, not starting a fan war.
Completely joking.
I love both groups. Okay, I love both groups.
This was posted Stone Music Entertainment. 55 million views. February 3rd. This is Everglow's Dun Dun. And boy, was it... it was a song and a half.
So, did anyone else just notice how Nick's face lit up the moment he said Everglow?
Dude. Okay, so you guys can't see it if you're in our Discord, which you better be. Join our Discord. But we have places inside of like our own little area where we organize everything for the next video. So naturally, like, you know, I have a channel there where I organize all of my music theory stuff. Or did you happen to look at it?
I caught a glimpse. I did not understand a dang thing.
I know you didn't understand a single thing, but you see how much stuff was there?
Yeah.
Dude,
so you started this like less than a week ago, and I still don't understand it.
Like, this is... Okay. This is insane. This song is nuts. So first off, incoming music theory speech. So
everyone prepare to be bored. Everyone.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a skip. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a skip 2-part. You know, or we'll put it somewhere because he's mean.
No.
Oh, you're gonna make him listen to it? That's even worse.
Yeah.
So, Everglow's Dun Dun, it's in natural minor or Aeolian, okay? And basically what that means is the 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th of the scale are flat. And that's what gives it the Middle Eastern vibe, Aura. Because in the Middle East they are kind of the pioneers for the most part of natural minor or Phrygian modes. I'll get into some stuff a little later on, stuff that you recognize.
Wait, you're calling me stupid, aren't you?
I would never.
I feel like you're implying it.
So did you notice that opening chord, that do that chord?
Yeah.
Did you notice how it sounded very like Middle Eastern?
Yeah. For me, it reminded me of the one of the, I think it was their debut song, to be honest.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm just saying.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My brain works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, true. So like, and then they continue this the scale throughout the entire like song, and so it makes it very very interesting to listen to because it's not just a normal like major chord, right? Then and the intro in verse 1 in rap, the intro to verse 1 in rap, they do vocal foreshadowing. So if you remember in EU's rap, right, it started out like there was a synth behind that was saying everything that she was gonna say, before she said it, right?
Okay.
And so that's all vocal foreshadowing. And vocal foreshadowing is very unique because you know what's going to be said, but it hits harder.
Okay.
It's used to make it hit very hard because the actual vocals come in right when the beat comes in. Normally that's really not a good idea because it gets all muddled. But since you already know what she's going to say and how she's going to say it, it makes it so much easier.
Okay. Because, yeah, for me, when I was listening to it, you're gonna hate me. You're really gonna hate me. I wasn't into the song when I first listened to it.
Man, Fatal February is gonna become really fatal here.
I had to listen to it maybe 2 to 3 more times before I could actually get into the song. And
yeah,
I think it might have been because of that vocal shadowing that you mentioned. Because for me, I never realized it, you know? Like, I'm not someone who uses my ears first. I use my eyes first.
Right.
So, I didn't notice any of the vocal foreshadowing, and for me, I watched the MV. So, everything to me was, I paid little attention to the vocals and whatnot. One being, I don't speak Korean, as I've said many times before. So that vocal foreshadowing was probably lost to me, which is probably why that first to listen to was a little bit jarring. But then as I started listening to the vocals more and paying more attention while watching the music video, I started to actually like it. So I think that there is a little bit of a disconnect with people like me who has to see it as whole as possible.
Right.
And you who listens to it through a music theory side, you know?
Right. So, and I mean that, yeah, a lot of that is probably like, like you said, it's just the amount of music theory that really is in this song. It can kind of be overwhelming to people that don't understand it. But they also did some things that I'm really not surprised about, but at the time took me by surprise inside the song.
Okay.
For example, after the rap concluded, they went with Mia's very smooth vocals, which gave a really interesting contrast.
Yeah, it was good. It was
and
good.
that was amazing because it was a very hard, like, gritty rap.
It was.
And then they went with the very smooth vocals, and those just usually don't work together, but they made it work perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Also, they used an extremely high belt after the bridge.
Did they?
Yeah. So they're belting really high up there, and it's a full belt. I mean, it's not a mixed voice; it's a full belt.
That's not easy.
I think honestly,
that's not easy.
No, and I think honestly, there are probably 1 or maybe 2 members that could do it in the group. And so the fact that there's at least 2 members in the group that can do it is really impressive because that's a really high belt. Especially because it starts out low and then switches an octave up.
Okay. I mean, for those who don't believe us, you try belting those notes. They're not easy.
Yeah. You try belting that what was it? I think a high B or something like that.
I don't know. You're the one who's the music theorist. I'm the eyes.
I'd have to break out the piano.
I'm the eyes. Although, granted, my eyes aren't good either, but...
And I also really like that the dance break used the motif to actually expand on it rather than just like holding a fermata and a sostinato through the end. So what I mean by that is the motif is like it's that chord or it's that scale at the beginning. That's the motif, and they expanded on it instead when the dance break, because it could be really boring if they just went with the same thing over and over again, right?
Yeah.
So, but they expanded on it, which is interesting to do at such a late point in the song. But I really like it because it feels like something's different, right?
I mean, I guess.
I will say though, it right now it doesn't feel like Everglow has settled into their own style yet.
I feel like they're still experimenting a little, but they're not moving away from where their core is. They're dancing around an idea. They have an idea, but they haven't gotten to that idea, so they're just dancing around it until they get to it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that could be because of Yuehua.
Yeah. Because isn't Yuehua a Chinese company, if I remember?
Correct, yeah. They're a Chinese company. So. Everglow is just part of their Korean kind of subsidiary. A lot of people are thinking that Everglow is going to settle into this kind of like Adios, Dun Dun kind of style because they are similar in style.
Because what was the last one?
Adios.
Was it Adios?
Yeah.
Oh, oops. I've already forgotten which. Because
it was Adios, and then it was their debut.
Yeah, because
the second comeback.
Yeah, this is their second comeback.
Yep. And I wouldn't be surprised if they settle in. It's obviously doing really well. I mean, 55 million views in 5 days.
So much higher than ours. It is so much higher than our view counts. But no, I'm happy for them. You know, they're honestly a monster rookie group.
Honestly, they are. And I'm going to say this, and it's I hope it doesn't come off the wrong way. And if it does, I'm so sorry. But I think Yuehua really needs to restructure their vocal lineup. I've looked at the like distribution. I know it's all for the sound of the song, right? But they have to change something because I looked at the distribution. I looked at distributions of previous songs. I've looked at statistics. I've done a lot of research on this. And right now, and I see people tweeting about it all the time, it's basically Mia and Friends. To put this in perspective, Yiren and Onda had basically 2 lines in the entire song. Aisha and EU rapped. And then Xion had like a few lines, but a lot of it was either repetition or something like that, which does add to the vocal, second count, but it's not really lines, right? I looked at it and Mia had like 85% of the lines, original lines.
Yeah.
She had like almost over a minute inside of the song alone in vocals, and there's not even really like. Everyone will be like, it's a 3-minute 28-second song, but it's really not because a lot of it is rap.
Yeah, I mean, they do need to do a little bit more restructuring. Especially they've got so many amazing singers in that group, and I mean, yes, there's always a main vocal, and the main vocal always has more. If you look at Twice has a lot of vocalists. Actually, everyone in the group can sing. Yeah. Even the rappers.
But if there's literally like 2 people that have a majority of the lines. There's Nayeon and Jihyo. That's the majority of the lines. That's fine. They're basically the main vocalists.
Yeah.
Everyone else usually goes with a fair bit of lines aside from Tsuyu. Please help Jui.
Yep.
But usually everyone goes with a fair bit of lines. But it's just not that way in Everglow. You're working with less members. You have to share the distribution a little more. In a 9-member group, it's natural for someone to not have a lot of lines. It's the 9th subvocal spot. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah.
But and so I think they need to do a little bit of restructuring. Focus a little bit on the other members. I know that Yiren and Xion had more exposure than Mia did.
They've had that extreme training from Produce 48.
Yeah, they were on Produce. I mean, Xion was literally on both. She was literally on both seasons of Produce. She was on 101 and 48. So they have that training, but also at the same time they have a lot of exposure, right? Xion did really well in 48.
Right.
And Yiren did just as well. And so I get that, but also you have to remember that Iyu, Aisha, Onda, and Mia don't have that exposure. But you're shoveling all the exposure into Mia is not a good idea.
Yeah. It does.
I'm saying this as a Mia bias.
It causes an imbalance.
It does.
Something that you've seen in other groups.
That's the thing that happened with Miss A.
Miss A. What was it? Secret.
Wonder Girls was starting to do it. Like it was a mess in a lot of the second gen groups, because the second gen groups, if you promoted one member, that means your group popular, then you could promote the other members later.
Yeah.
It's just if you didn't promote the other members later,
it becomes member and friends.
Yeah, it does become member and friends. That is the whole reason that a lot of when people talk about Miss A nowadays, they talk about
Susie,
a member and friends. They talk about Susie and friends. That's because that's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Susie was great, but
Susie's great. Yeah.
So were the other members. Faye, which was my bias.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah. So that is kind of the path that I see them going down right now, and so they really need to like reverse that. I mean, yeah, have her take the bridge, have her take the high notes, have her take the ad-libs, have her take everything the main vocal normally does. But you gotta give other people some lines.
Right.
So with that, that is the end of my rant.
It was a long one.
It was.
So let's go with our next topic.
Oh no.
We have LOONA and So What?
My Twitter feed.
I have mixed feelings.
Me too.
Alright. What are your mixed feelings on?
I don't think this song was right for LOONA.
Really?
I don't think this song was right for LOONA's style.
Okay.
LOONA has established himself as being super high synth, right? Very house, very house, kind of calm house.
Right.
I don't think this was the play. They went very trap EDM.
For me,
but instead of like going the full trap EDM route, they went with their normal high vocals. And while that's fine, but it makes it sound like you took a GFRIEND track and then laid like heavy trap under it. It just doesn't work right, in my opinion.
All right.
And like if they're gonna do this, I would like to hear like a non EDM version of this song. You know?
I mean, for me, I actually really did like the song, to be honest. Between this and Butterfly, these are probably my two favorite LOONA tracks.
I liked Butterfly a lot.
Yeah. I don't think this can compare to Butterfly because they're both two very different styles. My biggest problem was the music video. Like, the costuming was great. The locations are all right. The artistic style was good, but how it was done was very jarring. They used a lot of going close up and pulling back at the same time, which makes it really jarring. And when they did that, they also went from being in center to being off center, while also panning throughout the scenes. And that is such a jarring thing to do. It's not something you do, especially if it puts the what you're trying to focus on off center. Like it causes such a huge imbalance. And then there were scenes that were incredibly imbalanced because of the background. Like one side had way too much stuff while another side almost had nothing.
Right.
And it causes one side to be heavier.
And something I also just found out. This is also the first non-SM artist that Lee Soo-man has worked with.
Yeah.
He had full participation. He had a bunch of participation in this album.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, like that's cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if Lee Soo-man is participating in your album, there's a level of quality I expect from that album. And I've listened to the full album.
Have you?
The full album, yeah, I have. There are a lot of really good songs on there.
Okay.
But this song is a completely different style than everything else on that album.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
It's a completely different song. This song is a hard-hitting, faster-paced song. Everything else in the song is either house EDM, like I talked about before,
Okay.
or like borderline ballad. Aside from the intro.
Alright.
But the intro has no vocals on it, so I don't really count that. It's just an instrumental track. But anyway, like, and I don't think that is the way to do it, having a single song that is not like anything else in the album, and then transitioning to something that is completely different on the album.
Right.
Like, if you're gonna go with an album feel, you've got to have that title track have the same feel. Mm-hmm. And it might sound like I'm bashing LOONA. I'm not bashing LOONA. LOONA actually had probably zero input into what goes on their album.
Yeah.
Like, we all know K-pop artists are just told to sing and call it a day.
Most.
Most. Yeah, there are quite a few exceptions, but most. But so LOONA in itself, the group, had probably zero control over that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it comes down to Blackberry Creative and the way they're structuring the album. I don't think they structured it right.
Yeah.
The song, the members' vocals in itself, they did everything to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
But I think this is a style and a belt range that is way outside of what they can handle.
Yeah. My problem was the crew. Honestly, they could have done a better camera work with this.
They could have. I don't think the camera work was optimal.
Mm-hmm.
There were some really good shots.
Oh yeah, there were some amazing shots. But because of the subpar shots from the other scenes, or how the camera works did it, it ruins the rest of the MV. Like,
right.
I'll say this right now. Like, Dun Dun had really good camera work. BiBi and GFRIEND had amazing camera work. DKB, did I say P?
They could have worked on the camera.
They could have worked on it, but it was still good.
For a debut.
Yeah, for a debut, it was still good. LOONA has already debuted. They've had a couple of comebacks.
Yeah, 2 years? 1 year?
I'd say about a year and a half or so. But then they've also had a bunch of pre-debut releases too, leading up to their actual debut. So the crew should have had enough time to really get a style down.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I think a little bit of that is reflected inside of the views.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at When the K, it has like 1.8 mil, which is not bad.
Yeah.
If you look at Luna the World, obviously that's where everyone is streaming their video, which is Luna's official channel. It has 5.7 million, which is not bad. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's better than a lot of other artists out there.
Right.
Because if you don't know the world of Nugu, oh boy, there's a lot. Yeah, you guys know. And so that's really good. I think it could have done a lot better, provided they went with a more safe concept choice. Like if you look at Luna's Butterfly, which I know came out a year ago, but if you look at Luna's Butterfly, that was 31 million views. So, and that was on Loon of the World. And so, you know, it is showing something a little bit.
For me, like,
because the projections aren't really there right now. I mean, 5.7 million in 3 days is a lot, but it will slow down quite a lot.
Like, for me, Butterfly is still on repeat. Like, but with this, I don't think I will go out. I won't skip it if it comes on, but I won't go out of my way to listen to it, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's not bad, but it's not what you'd expect from LOONA. And
naturally,
either music video or from vocally, you know. I do honestly like the song, though. I do honestly like the song. I haven't listened to the rest of the album, but I honestly do like the song.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on when you listen to the rest of the album.
Right.
Which he'll probably put it on a Discord. Go join our Discord. I'm not gonna stop plugging it. So you join.
He'll plug it everywhere he can. And whatnot.
Right. So with that, now that we're done, I hate K-pop apparently today. So I feel like we're. Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Which one do you think would be best to move on to?
A
few options, guys. So bear with us.
Let's do quick shots because we're reaching an hour.
Fair enough. All right. So we'll go ahead and do quick shots. So first, I'm gonna start it off here. Our other options here were Twice, Signature with their debut, and Bandit. Go check them all out, honestly.
Yeah, they were great.
Signature is great, honestly. They're trying their hardest. It wasn't good for a debut, but it was fine.
Like, we want to talk about it, but we just talked about how many other songs. We talked about one.
We just talked about Everglow for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. We talked about GFRIEND for a good 10-15.
Yeah.
So
all right. For our quick shots.
Oh wait, MV of the week.
Oh, I was trying to skip it. All right, MV of the week.
And this will choices also include Twice's Swing, Signatures, New Na.
I was waiting for that. And Bandit's cool. All right. I'm gonna have to say.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to say. Sorry, Mama. Crossroads. Restless. Dun Dun. They're all good.
Yeah.
I can't choose. Like, if I had to choose absolutely one, I'd probably have to choose Everglow's Dun Dun.
Alright. So we have Everglow's Dun Dun. Gotcha. This is just way too hard not to pick. Everything about it was absolutely perfect for me. It's can you can probably already guess. GFRIEND Crossroads.
Yep.
It's just too good.
Insert Jihoon's pick here.
Yeah, right.
He's here in spirit, you know.
He'll probably add something later.
Of course. All right, so now we got to move on to quick shots.
All right.
Before we take up 2 hours of our time.
Which we could.
So on February 4th, Big Hit held a corporate briefing to discuss company's future plans. During that briefing, during that briefing, Vice President Shin Young-jae announced that Big Hit Entertainment plans to debut a boy group in 2022. Which is a little sooner than we were expecting an announcement, considering TXT has kind of just formed.
Right.
In addition, Source Music CEO So Sung-jin shared that the girl group resulting from the Plus Global edition that they're having right now, a collaboration project with Big Hit's chief brand officer, has been formed and will debut in 2021. So Seungjin also mentioned GFRIEND, who recently made their comeback, and the agency growing towards the #1 label for girl groups through the synergy with Big Hit Entertainment after being acquired last year. Vice President Choi Yun-huk from B-Lift, a joint venture between Big Hit Entertainment and CJ&M, revealed the company's goals in making K-pop mainstream into their vision and to transplant the K-pop training system to the global market. Oh boy. He also announced the company's plans to debut a multinational boy group within 2020 as B-Lift's first project towards their goals. So, from what that understands, Big Hit. So the way Big Hit works now is it's not just Big Hit Entertainment. Okay? It is Big Hit Labels, Big Hit Entertainment, Source Music, and B-Lift. Those are all the subsidiaries now. Big Hit Labels is the overall company now.
Okay.
And a lot of people, there was one thing in here that caught a lot of people off guard, and that was the multinational boy group. Because there are already multinational boy groups.
Z-Boys!
In the scene. Z-Boys is a very big one of those. If we're talking about multinational, meaning multiple countries, NCT.
Right.
You know, though they're very much a multinational boy group. You know, stuff like that. And so we don't really know what's expected, but if they're planning to debut in 2020, they already have formed. They already know each other.
Yeah.
There's no way that they're not. I mean, you can't say, oh, we're going to debut somebody 2020 and not even have one of the people that you know are going to be in the group.
I don't know.
So, for 2020 to 2022, which is a 3-year plan, we are expecting 2 boy groups and a girl group. So that will be exciting to see.
Alright.
With that, I'm going to throw it to Aura.
Alright, so this one is going to be a short one, hence quick. CLC's Sunghee has launched a YouTube channel. Go subscribe. that sounds so unenthusiastic.
Yeah, actually go subscribe.
Yeah, dude. A lot of members, like Soen has her own YouTube channel, and then there's so many idols that have YouTube channels now. It's a good way to basically become closer as a fan. I mean, granted, yes, there are V lives, but these channels are their own, and they have there's probably some control over from management, but it's still their own kind of thing that they manage themselves.
Right.
So yeah, go subscribe.
All right. So, Aura will be throwing it back to me because I have
because I don't feel like saying nothing.
Some graduations to talk about here. I won't be going over everyone that graduated, so make sure you go check out who has graduated recently. There were on February 7th, there was a graduation ceremony was held for Hanlim Art School, and a bunch of stars graduated. Some notable ones: Itzy's Chaeryong and Ryujin both graduated. Let's see, Somi also has graduated, which is nice to see that she's still in Korea. Honestly, come back, please. Saturday's Jiyeon. Aries is June. And like SS is Sabin, Stan SS, Stan Talent.
I thought you would have sounded more excited, to be honest.
Eventually, you've said it so much that it's just not exciting anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, like, it's exciting when I see somebody that also stands SAS, but eventually you've just said it enough where it just becomes like second nature. Buster Cheongso, stuff like that. So definitely make sure to go check out who has graduated. Make sure that you're tweeting at them,
give them the love and support,
saying congratulations. Yep.
And then back to me, and with that,
I'll be throwing it to Aura
with this amazing last news to end it off with. Yes. We have
Ended on a high note.
Cherry Bullet's light stick being announced.
And boy, is it gonna get so many people arrested.
So, for those who don't know, Cherry Bullet's light stick looks like a gun.
Yeah, Jihoon, just go ahead and put it over my face. This is my new face.
It's red and white, with the obviously the Cherry Bullet symbol on it.
Natural.
Like, as much as I like this light stick, I don't think it's gonna pass through any security.
Yeah, I don't think they thought this through very well.
Like,
when thinking about American fans,
international fans, period. Like, not just American, but like European, China. Like, I don't even know how Korean venues would take it, to be honest. Just because of the shape of the light stick.
I mean, Korean venues will probably be fine. Just because it is a light stick. You have to understand that, like, the idol culture is much more prevalent there, so if they're like, it's a light stick, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess. But
over here, if we're like, oh yeah, it's a light stick from my favorite like K-pop group, they'll be like, yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Again, you know, it's a great light stick. I'm just there's definitely security issues with this light stick.
It is a gun. Yep. Good luck ever trying to take that on a plane.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll get it, but
I'm 100% buying it. 100%.
But
that is so original.
But yeah, no, that's our last piece of news. Remember to show your love to all your idols. Give them the support that they deserve. Respect their privacy. Comment, subscribe to ISN. Join us on Discord.
We also have a Twitter.
Yeah, we have a Twitter now. I still suck at Twitter, so yeah.
It's alright.
Yeah. Oh, because apparently I'm from the Qin Dynasty, according to these guys. So obviously I should understand this.
Yeah, we'll go with Qin today. That's fine. Started China, but you know, it's alright.
Whatever.
Alright, well, this has been Idol Stand Nation. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.